Okay, folks, I finished the Senate. So the intuitive take on the state of the nation for June 2025, which is me pendulum checking a question set for our United States senators. I did it. I got it done, and boy, was it a beast. So first things first, banner going across the page. What you need to know is you're going to be getting a video, which is both kind of like instruction and interpretation to kind of walk you through all the data, and then you can do the data on your own, do your own figuring on your own. So as I did this, I came up with an 11 question set that I pendulum checked through, and the questions came out into groupings. The first grouping has to do with the election and the seat that they won. The second grouping of questions has to do with corporate interest versus constituency interest. The next set of questions has to do with threat level and where they're at with that. And then the back end of the questions has to do with constitutionality, the actions they're taking, and if they are in it for the money or if they truly do care about what they're doing. Now, once I got through all of those questions, and some of those questions I treated as a toggle yes, no, and some of those questions I treated as a percentage. I made up a grid and I got percentage answers because I felt that was better than a black and white yes, no. What I found as I did all of this is all began to tell a story. It all began to tell a story. Now, what you need to know is I came to this believing that I was going to get some black and white answers about the Democrats and Republicans, because guess what? That's what we all get trained to do, right? But then when Spirit Team helped me set up these question sets, and I began pendulum checking through them, and a good chunk of them I pendulum checked as percentages, it all began to tell a story. And the stories that it told were like, I got partway through this and I was nauseous. I literally felt sick. I also got partway through this and there were some places it broke my heart. It just broke my heart. There's some surprises. There's like not surprises and then there's surprises. So you'll be able to see those for yourself. So you need to know the emotional toll that this took on me, that, you know, there was a big weight for me to get through this. And partway through this, I was definitely, it broke my heart, because here's the bottom line. It is far worse than we know. It is far worse than we know, because we get veiled, we get shielded from what is truly going on in Washington. And that's what I found this pendulum check session thing did, is it broke through that veil. Like, we all see on the outside, we see the antics, we see the press releases, we see the votes, we also see we see the money, but we do not see the inside psychology of some of what is truly going on there. And, you know, did my pendulum pick up on all of that? No, but it picked up on the markers. It picked up on the markers enough to cut through things enough for me to go, oh. And this is where I landed. Where I landed is, like, we're all talking about how we've been living in a corporatocracy. No, we're living in a corporate mafia that uses democracy as a thin veiled carrot to keep us engaged. Yeah, it's pretty sick. And from what I can tell, I believe there's a lot of mental, emotional, and physical abuse and or threats that happen to our representation. Definitely in the Senate. Haven't gotten to pendulum checking the House yet, but I can't imagine why that wouldn't be there as well. And so we need to be very aware that this is the nature of what's going on. And when I got done with this, I realized no wonder it is so hard for our senators and representatives to actually do their job for us. It's almost near to impossible. So there's that. So I came in thinking one thing, and then as I got partway through it and the pendulum started building out all of these very unique stories, like every single senator, very unique. There's a very unique story going on, and you're going to be able to kind of decipher that out as you go through the numbers. And I got to the back end of this, and I realized, oh my God, it's a lot worse than we know. Oh my God, even the people that I don't like On the Republican side, I would not wish what they're all going through on my worst enemy. Like, this is some really gnarly, horrible stuff that they have to live through just to represent us. And I walked away, like, by the time I got this done and I walked away, like when I finally finished it out at the end of one of my days this past weekend, I felt like I was getting sick. I felt like I was going to come down with like a cold flu thing. So this is really low vibrational stuff that we're dealing with here, and what they are dealing with here. And when I walked away and kind of let myself digest all of this for a little while, like, there was a feeling of like, God, there's just no hope. There's just no hope, because like this corporate mafia thing, this corporate political mafia system that we've been living in since 1999, it's now tipped over the edge into now, like, from what I can tell, corporate fascism, right? And there's a feeling of like, oh my God, all hope is lost. But then I went back and I started looking at some of the numbers and some of the people. And I believe there are some senators who have figured out their gold standard for this system. And there's a few of them who are doing it, and they're making it work. Now, are these the people who get the headlines? No, but they're in here. There are these people in here, and the good people who look like they're drowning in the system, they truly are trying. They truly are trying on our behalf, and we need to give them, our support. People like Amy Klobuchar and Elizabeth Warren. But if you pick this up and you walk through it, you're going to begin to see the people who truly are trying, that deserve our support, and you're going to begin to see the people who are working this system, this very toxic system, in their favor for us. And I'm just like, I'm blown away by how they're figuring out how to do this. And so you need to come take a look at this, go through the numbers, do the figuring on it, take a look at the story. Yeah, let your heart be broken a little bit, and then come back around to seeing the stories that are lining up that are in favor for us. Now, Spirit Team, what you need to know is Spirit Team was really clear about me doing this pendulum check. Like, I wanted to go off and do other things. They're like, no, Dana, people need to know this information for what's going to happen this summer. People need to know this information for what's going to happen this summer, for them to know who they can count on, truly count on, right? So that's why I'm doing this report. So that's why I'm cranking out this pendulum check report for the Senate. I'm going to go ahead and continue to work on the House of Representatives. It's 435 people. And after what I went through with this, I'm going to have to break it out so that I can digest it in easier pieces. So you're just going to have to be patient with me as I work through. I'm going to do 4 sections. I'm going to break out the House of Representatives into 4 different pendulum check reports. And then also, I've also put together your own pendulum checking kit. So if you're someone who wants to do your own pendulum check, I'm going to put together a kit that has the grid that I used. It's also going to have the question sheet so you can set up your own. And it's also going to have this grid blank so that you can do your own pendulum check, either with the questions that I did so you can double check my work on what you're finding out, or you can make up your own questions and do your own whole set of pendulum checking. That's what I've got for you for now. Make sure you keep walking forward and meet those miracles along the way. And mwah, I will see you in my next video.